All right, what's up, guys? It's that time of the day. We're going to do a little trade review. Today I'm red. It's another red day. It's a top off a red week. And on top of that, I'm resisting saying frustrated. But a little disappointing. You know, it's not a crazy red week. I'm only down 700. But there was a little bit of opportunity. I gave a little bit too much back in the late afternoon. I missed opportunities when I walked away. And, you know, it just happened to not work out this week. And whether that's due with market dropping and the larger size I was using and the places I was playing it in, and maybe feeling pressure to take advantage of opportunities that seemed less than normal, while also trying to excited to use bigger size. All that together kind of resulted in not really a productive week, but that's okay. That is okay because I will live again to trade next week. And let's just open up this trade window. It wasn't totally unproductive. I did learn some stuff about myself, that I like procrastinating when there's nothing to do instead of learning something. This MGOL here really... I took a walk to this store called Erewhon to do some study review, and while I was gone, it made its way up and made a move. Really kind of watching this MRIN, even though I'm down on it, and but it looks very dry. Like there's nothing going on. Probably anything that does go on is going to be a trap. And so I'll probably leave that alone. But let's get right into the review. Where are we at? Okay, was that today? Yep. Okay. So this is what it looked like at 9:29 this morning Eastern time. This one I was disappointed that it was failing because I wanted to trade that. I thought KITT would have offered some great opportunity. It had news. It was the right price, and it had the right chart set up if it was to start to recover. And I would have been relatively aggressive on this. And I think that would have been pretty exciting for a lot of people to see this one go. But it failed at the open, and we got to work with what we're given. So all eyes were on MGOL, Mongol, or what's it called? MGO Global. So that's what I was watching, and let's see how it goes. I was also not very amused because after I made my review yesterday, I went back to the stock and was trading it a little bit more, not filming, unfortunately, and I made a couple mistakes and gave back another $200 on it. It was just annoying. It's just an annoying, like the spreads were loose. I was trying for breakouts too. It was below levels. It had sold off a whole bunch. I was just not playing it correctly, but at the same time, it was very, very penalizing every time you made a mistake. And so that all added up together on top of me trading. I think I was trading 2,000 shares on a $5 stock. So it's like what is that? Like 10,000 share positions or $10,000 positions. And so naturally, bigger size and equals bigger ups and downs. And as I get used to that, I get used to it. That's all I can say. A lot of the trades were mistakes by repetition, but not necessarily by entry. So or by not cutting. So it was like there's like levels of like how you can do poorly, and or different classes of how you can do poorly. Maybe let's say like the worst of how you can do poorly is you have a bad position, you know you have a bad position, and you're just not cutting it, and you're hoping it goes back, and then it just keeps going against you, and then maybe you're adding to it, and like it's snowballing. Um, that's one way to. That's like class one, really bad. Um, but there's a lot of different ways you can do poorly, which may be strategically just buying in poor places, buying breakouts that aren't likely to work, buying repeatedly in spready areas where the spreads don't tighten up and where you don't have an opportunity to bail out at a reasonable price, holding microseconds too long when it's hesitating. Um, Instead of taking like a medium low stop out, all these things, I was like making some of those and then making okay trades altogether. And so while I was getting irritable, I don't think, although I can't confirm this because I didn't film it and didn't record it, and that's my that was a downfall, and like something I noted for next week is like I got to record all my trades even if they're in the middle of the day just so I can keep track of this stuff. But from what I remember, I wasn't making any severe errors. There were a couple. There was like a massive dip that I just kept buying, and I think I covered that. But yeah, it was just not the nice. But anyways, on to today. So that same stock is popping up this morning, and I'm hesitant to play it. I'm hesitant to market into it because every time I marketed into it yesterday, it seemed like it just like immediately, like it would accept my order, and then and then the ask would just drop, and I would be down whatever amount of cents. And so I was really hesitant to buy it out of the open here, even though it did show, some slight signs of strength. So it's dipping here out of the open, it tries to test 50, and it's not dying, and maybe buying right there. And you would get a nice little 10-cent trade up there. But it's also coming into all these levels here. So it does this kind of like chop around stuff and finally hits up to 6, unwinding a couple of shorts and testing the 200 EMA on the daily, and that was the level I was aiming for yesterday. And funny enough, it came back after market. I don't know if you can see this here, but I'm going to move this up here. This is the 15-minute chart, and after our close, and it went back up, and I saw that, and I was just like, that's stupid stock. I'm not going to trade it after hours just because that's not really what I do. But I saw it this morning. It was still kind of holding up, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll take a couple of trades. But I was too risk averse on it, which is okay. And I only made like $100 on some kind of like quick little chops on it, and didn't really play it as aggressively, maybe as it warranted, and missed the majority of the positive opportunity this morning, which is fine. So as you can see here, it's like already went from 550 to 620. I haven't taken anything. In my head, I'm like, this thing's going to sell. It's already hit that level. It's obviously bounding off of it. Sellers are stacking up. It's not going to go much. You ain't going to get much out of that. anyways, I take a chip shot. I buy on the bid because it's loosey goosey, and I go in and out with this strategy where you just buy the bids on the dips, mainly because it doesn't always work well unless it's selling aggressively and the stock isn't controlled so much by market makers. As in, like as you trade more, you'll get a feel for this stuff. Where some stocks are controlled, and then other stocks there's like no one controlling them, and like every time it gets touched by a trader, it just like whizzes one way or the other. And this is more that second type of stock, and those you can sometimes get orders on the bottom side of the spread to fill, and on the top side also. But I would be a little bit more cautious with those because that means you're holding a position, and you're putting adverse pressure on the name, especially depending on where you try to dump it. But I got filled on the bid maybe once or twice here, and that was pretty much all the money I made today. And then going through this BLND, it was kind of just a distraction name. The float was wrong. It was a biotech. It was kind of moving, looking like I could just tell like these are just waiting. It's almost like it waits for you to buy and then it just flips. Because people generally tend to buy when it looks the best, and so like because it looks so good, I was like, it just creeped up, and I'm like, this thing has just got to reverse. And granted, it might not have, but I was very happy to be on the safe side of that risk. Also, because today wasn't super promising, just with everything going on. Nothing was very like stand out, like telling me like there's stuff that there's a bunch of traders out here. There's a bunch of momentum in the market. Everyone's going to buy anything that comes up. It was more like people are kind of sketched out, cautious. It's Friday, and I think a lot of people are looking to buy something, but probably trying to manage their risk into the weekend, especially given this last week. The S&P 500 or the markets in general have sold, and they're kind of just in this sideways consolidation range, not quite deciding what they want to do yet. And there's some pressure to the upside. There's also not much progress though. And this could reverse very quickly. This could like open Monday just down, and possibly another buying opportunity for large caps, possibly not, possibly the beginning of a big unwind, who knows, but that's not my business. I don't really deal with that. Okay, on to the next stuff. We have MRIN. I also was not amused with this chart pattern. It looked like there was a lot of pressure on it. It looked like people had been caught under the 200 SMA there, or EMA, whatever, on the daily, and it's just getting sold. So I also was buying bids on that, not always getting filled, but it's okay. Oftentimes, like I found that's a really good policy is just to buy bids, because you don't get, like, when you're not totally convinced of a name that overall it's going to be worth it. If you buy the bid, it gives you that safety of, and this is normally, sometimes it can just blow in your face, but like at least if it blows in your face, you're in at the lower price instead of marketing in. And you generally only get filled if it is in downward momentum already, plus or minus. That gives a different it's a different type of trade, but that's generally how I look at it. Is if I'm not totally sold on a stock, I try to buy the bid, because I don't necessarily want to get filled. I'm just testing the waters to see how it reacts, see what the market makers are, where they're taking it in response to orders coming up, and how much it needs liquidity and wants to fill my order. So that's that. I traded with pretty small size to start. Then I started as it kind of turned around and started running here a little bit. I started adding size, got to 2,000 shares. It's a bit, it's kind of medium size for this price range, but I was doing okay on it. Really nothing of note. I was up like $36. I missed the moves that I probably should have had, and then as it was coming back down, I gave back. Actually, not a whole bunch. I was holding strong here, making a little bit of money there. I was up 70 on it, and then here I didn't think it would go, so I kind of just like left it alone for a second, and it makes this move, which is I'll show you the move. It was kind of like I don't know. There are these things called ADFN orders where the stock's basically going sideways, and then it just prints like that a transaction happened at a higher price, but it never really showed on the tape. And those orders are usually institutional orders that just have to get reported on the tape, but it didn't really transact at that level at that time. And you'll see them in pre-market. It's just like mainly on large caps where there's big players going through and they're hiding their orders and like they're reporting them at different times so people can't track them as easily. And it just shows like a big spike. This was kind of similar to that. Maybe not in the fact that it was institutional, but in the fact that when it happened, it didn't really show that it had actually gone up to that price on the level 2 and the time in sales. It kind of just like printed there on the chart. And I've noticed in the past, just by like watching lots of film and doing lots of study, that occasionally those tend to, like, occasionally they happen, and when they happen, they tend to, if they hold after that candle, tend to creep up higher and higher and higher back to where it goes through that level and actually matches that. That didn't happen this time, but that's what I was playing for. And this is where I lost a good amount of the money. It was only $200, so a good amount. It was more annoyed. I'm only down like 70 on the day, and it's all good. But this is what it looked like. And something to note here too is the 5 minute might have had something to do with it. It had already made this kind of topping, I guess, candle. I don't take those at face value, but I do add it into like an overall intuition of like, okay, look, some sellers are coming in. They're trying to push this down. It's at a significant level. The purple line's a 200 EMA. And there's also this like ascending trend here that is now providing resistance from the bottom side. And let's just watch how this goes. And so I'm not about to buy. Well, maybe I am. But I'm just like watching it to see how it holds. I think it's going to reverse. And it just pops up there. And it's like you don't even see the numbers really go up to the 70s. But it kind of just prints. And I'm like, oh. Let me see if I can pause it at the right time. No. There it is. Okay, so there was an 8,000 share order that gets 10 cents of slippage. That's annoying. Someone just paid $800 for that order. That sucks for them. That's really annoying for them. So basically someone marketed it and got filled really high. And you can see that right there. And so because of that, I was like, all right, there's buyers in, there's a bunch of green on the tape. I'm thinking people are going to like push this higher. But I wasn't right. And this is the preceding action where I lose a couple hundred. And so I'm in there at 59, going back above 60. I cut it because it's not going instantly like I wanted to. and I give back some money right there. And then I buy right there at 62, and immediately it stops moving upwards, and I'm like, scheisse. And then I cut it because it has a lot of downward momentum potential. And then it's back up at 62, and I'm like, what? Do I buy it at 62 now? No, that's not appropriate. Like, again, I'm trying not to like multiple buy at those same levels, and this is kind of what's going in. Like, there's like a sub program running or sub intention running in my head where it's like I'm trying to do this correctly, and I take an L there, and I forgot where I got filled, but it looks like I didn't lose too much on it. I can kind of see out of on the side here. But I do keep trading it, and I do keep trading with big size or big-ish size. I was aiming to get to 3,000, 3,500 shares on this, but it just never started moving in a way that I found predictable, to where I could trust myself to use that size on this name. And so that's why I was only at 2,500 shares, working on keeping my loss. And then, okay, so I'm in there at 50. But again, it's acting like it's highly pressurized, as in lots of sellers. It's totally reversed this 1 minute candle here. It's not popping above 51, or if it does, it only does for like a microsecond. And so I'm like, I'm cutting this. And of course, it keeps going down. And I think I try one more here. Trying for the break back above 50. I'm thinking, okay, let's see if that happens. And no, like sellers came in and just didn't do. And so now, a little bit irritable. Actually, I think I'm still green on the day though. Although I'm down to $53 after being up 160-ish. So that, I think, emotionally had me turn on the risk a little bit, which is not the best move. And then now it's obviously creeping lower. And I was like, oh, it's bouncing back. And so I buy the uptick. But I don't think that was the best move. Although it's kind of still in play. There's just lots of downward pressure. I cut it. And I haven't got totally hurt. I'm just like down to flat on the day basically now. So let's see where I take the real L. I'm really curious. Okay, so now look at the 5 minute too. 5 minutes it's looking ugly, but I'm still looking to trade this. I'm still trading at the same size. So I have to adjust size based on setup. Note. Adjust size based on setup and how successful. Yeah. Dynamic sizing for me is what I have to figure out how to implement more in real time. So I think looking back, the right move to do here would be to cut the size down maybe to like 1,000 shares till it started to show strength, and then I could add the heat. So that's what I would have done differently. Okay, that's looking good. But no. See, I buy immediately, the bid doesn't stick, and the ask drops down below my entry price. And that, in this situation, or it's below the 20 SMA on the 1 minute, not really super relevant. But what is, I think, super relevant is look, you have a hard rejection after a significant level and like peaking at a high a day, and it's totally reversing a strong candle, and it's creeping lower after that, and it's back checking kind of this level, this area where there was a lot of volume, where there were a lot of dips bought, and all this stuff on level 2 is happening. And so that's what I was looking at. And so I cut it. Huh. And I think I'm down 104 there. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm still looking at it to go. Down 200 now on this name. Red on $100 on the day. I'm not sure if I stop here. Trading it though. I do remember there was like an internal tension where I did want to keep trading, and there we go. Okay, give me a second. We have this crappy name coming back up. Oh, it's the same one that I was trading before. All right, so this is a dangerous situation. This is real live time now. Look at how little volume there is there. I would stand out like a sore thumb. To market makers, if I just jumped in, if I marketed in here with 2,000 shares, I think that would be a pretty obvious thing that they can reverse. Look at these candle shapes. I look at this, it's just like it's so dry. I would really need to trade this situation to see lots of volume come in here, this to blow through 2.5, and preferably reverse a little bit and hold. And then I would think about trading, and I not necessarily would. I would kind of like see how it's trading. But day trading is risky. Make your own decisions. Trade for yourself. These situations can be the most volatile with such little volume. Look at this 5-minute volume here compared to earlier in the day. There's nothing going on. There's nobody there. So whoever has bigger size is going to move this stock immensely, and most of the time it's the market makers. And well, just think about it. I'm pretty sure this is true, they just have so much more money than a lot of people. Like, it's an institution. They can be on both the bid and the ask, and so they can do whatever they want with it. Let's see what happens. All right, it's not looking interesting. Okay, I think we should go back to filming. I'll let my alert hit, and then it'll tell me if something's going on, if it breaks above 50. Okay, so now backside of this, let's just making sure. Yeah, I take a picture. I'm coming to my senses. I'm like changing from like the hunting mindset to the analysis mindset, and that's when I generally trade less. And I'm like, okay, I made some mistakes there. I overweighted maybe. I was in back to back at lower prices. I didn't read the chart as well as I could have. And MRIN is back. Okay, let's look at that. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Does it want to die or does it just want to explode? It wants to. It wants to explode. I'm looking for. I'm looking for that reversal though. I want to see. I want to see. Not that. Not enough. No. Hold. It's 3 o'clock. Hold. It's 3 o'clock. Hold. Hold. I smell traps. Traps. Trapsity. Yeah. This one actually got me really good on a dip lower earlier. And so, damn. Because it just kept going. They're like 47. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, look at MGOL too. MGOL. MGOL. Let me get my fucking face out of the way. MGOL is starting to pop too. So now I think it's just like the time, the 3 o'clock pump, basically. Yeah. Now I'm just doing stuff to distract myself. Okay. Tuning in that. All right. Well, is it done? Probably actually no. But my faith in being able to ride this well and to ride it without making a mistake when there's going to be, in this situation, there's going to be very few opportunities to get it right and many opportunities to get it wrong. And that's kind of how I see situations like this with such dry volume and this like one big bar. You could make an okay amount of money, but it's very, very easy to walk off that money path and just fall into disarray. Like the path is narrow. The path is like it could even be split seconds. I actually think MGOL, because of how much volume it has, is a better choice to trade, even though I don't like it personally. So day trading is risky. You got to be aware of all this stuff. You got to be good. You got to be refrained and smart. Yeah, I will not trade that with large size today, especially after my experience yesterday. Such a garbage time on this one. Yeah. And look at this. It's kind of just like that's basically what this one is saying. I come in and I sell. Bye bye. Yeah, there you are. A little flash higher. Whatever. See, it's MGOL. It's the one. Look, do you take it to 6? How do you take this? Huh. I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced on anything right now. They're both moving. It's late in the day. I want to see a flush, but a hold. Fold. And I'm not seeing on anything. I'm seeing bids popping up. which is dumb. I'm seeing this creeping higher, which is probably going to go. But I don't want to be a part of it. And now, 5 minutes in, look at it go. Look at it go. Now it's into that level. This kind of resistance here. Huh. Yeah. Just got to focus on the one that has more volume. Let's see what it does. Running through mirages with tacks on the ground and bare feet. That's what this feels like. Mirage. It's a mirage. It's a mirage. Where's the mirage? It's a mirage. You think you can make money on this? It's a mirage. See, this is an interesting level, right? If it breaks through that, maybe to 615 to the 200 day, 626. Let's see. Doesn't mean I'm going to take the break. Look at that seller there. Oh, you can't see. You can kind of see it. Let me see if I put my face over here. Okay, yeah, this is the MGOL level 2. There's a seller in the 90s, the low 90s. Oh, you want to sell a little bit. Are you going to break that seller or that buyer? There's a buyer at 70 who wants to sell into it. Anybody home? Curious now because MRIN is holding. Oh, is my tape still playing? Yeah, tape is still playing. Okay. This one's interesting. MRIN. It's interesting. Sellers keep stepping in. Can they push it lower on MGOL? I don't know. I do like how there's no one participating right now. It's just very quiet on the tape, but it's kind of creeping higher. To me, I see that as something mildly desirable. Ooh. Yeah, that one's hard to take. I don't want MGOL to know I'm watching it, so I'm not going to disturb the ground. I'm going to hunt quietly and be a dork. Hmm. All right. Give me that dip that you're so good for. Oh, no, it's to go. Can't take those highs. Not yet, at least. It's not ready. I'm not ready. Let's see that 5-minute close. 30 seconds. It's not going to wait, is it? seller right there. Seller goes away. Nice. I didn't trade that. I just watched it go. Seller there now. Seller stepped out of the way. Now it's at a level. All right. What's it going to do now? Yeah, I didn't play that. Could have. Didn't. Breaks through that level. Okay. All right. Well, now what do I do? It's just so late in the day. I don't want to trade that. It's not at highs. It's late in the day. It's not at highs. It's late in the day. Why would I want to trade that? I'd want to short it if I were to trade it at all. That is not what I do usually. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I want to see this. Look at this candle here. So high volume. Relative high volume. Whatever it is, it's going to stand out to traders, so they're going to respond off of it accordingly. I'm not sure up or down, but they will be looking at how these levels from 87 to 13 are respected or not respected. SMR. What is going on with SMR? Whoa. What is this stock? Um, it's like moving, but it's still quiet. It hasn't decided yet. Gotta wait for it to decide. And SMR moving a little bit more. Huh. Oh, yeah, didn't get filled there. Took my order out. Oh, darn. Rats. I wanted to get filled. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. So, hello, hello, hello. All right, we're gonna leave that one alone. $6.15, $6.29. Did I film that? Huh. Didn't film that. Maybe it's in that video. Oh, I did film it. Okay. It wasn't 11:11. It was 10:38. All right. No, maybe I didn't. All right. Well, that's it.